Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. If the situation in Israel and Gaza, we don't even know really what's happening there with all the different threads of information, or even worse, what's really going to happen, except it's all a mess and terribly difficult for Israel. It was in a terrible spot, and everything is becoming worse and worse. So what do we do? How do we respond? What do we even pray for with everything that's going on? So our parsha this week is Moses' final speech to the people. And it begins with the word Va'et Chanan. Va'et Chanan means to plea, because Moses has a plea to God. And his plea is to let him enter the promised land. After all he'd done for the Jewish people, guided them for 40 years, given his whole life to take them through the desert. This is all he wanted, since the burning bush, to see the land of his fathers and mothers. Maybe even before, from the moment he struck the Egyptian, when he went to see about his kin, he wanted to go to the promised land and to see the land. But as we know, God says no, you cannot enter the land. And the Talmud says that his prayer was the most powerful prayer that one can imagine, and it grades the different levels of prayers that one can have. And so there's some prayers of gratitude, some prayers are prayers of thanks, some prayers are to ask. But what he had, techina, was the most powerful prayer that there is. And so the rabbis ask, if Moses' prayer that was so powerful, so deep, so true, was not answered, for him, someone who'd given 40 years of his life, the great leader of the Jewish people, what chance do our prayers have of being answered? Right, this is what it actually says in the Torah, the beginning of our parsha. I pleaded with Adonai at that time, saying, O Lord Adonai, you who let your servant see the first works of your greatness and your mighty hand, you whose powerful deeds no God in heaven or on earth can equal, let me, I pray, cross over and see the good land on the other side of the Jordan River, the good hill country in the Lebanon. So why did God not listen? So there's this beautiful interpretation to Moses' prayer as he was looking over the mountain into the promised land and looking north and east and south and west, was not actually in vain. And in fact, one of the rabbis says that it was that prayer that kept the Jewish people safe for 2,000 years. So it was Moses' prayer for the land, to see the land, which was used in a different way and which kept the people going through thousands of years of exile and was a powerful protector and shield for us, generation to generation. And then maybe Moses was not meant to see the promised land. It was not what he needed. They needed a different leader, someone more like everybody else, to lead the people, to help them believe in themselves. And that's what was best. So sometimes we don't know what to pray for. We don't know exactly what needs to be done, what is best. We have some ideas, but there's so much conflicting information. We do know is we want peace, we want goodwill, we want health, we want the end of suffering on all sides, just the end of suffering. Sometimes it doesn't look like our direct prayers will be answered, but we can hope and pray is our prayers will be used in some other way for the best good possible, for our beloved homeland, for our neighbors, for the Jewish people. And to remember, we don't always have the long view. Everything always seems to be moving so fast. We send our prayers in our hope that they will safeguard what is most precious to us, our promised land, and for our land, our people to live in peace on that land, and to hope that they will come true, even if we can't see it directly, but as best can happen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Please rise.